Danielle here. I'm the Artistic Director of SheNYC Arts, and I'm here from my little COVID socially distant video recording studio, aka my apartment, to talk to you about the script submission process over here at SheNYC for our 2022 Summer Theater Festivals. So first off, I want you to take a look at our Summer Theater Festival pages on our website. The festival is meant to put up a full production of your work. So if you haven't even done a stage reading or a workshop yet, you might not be ready for a full-fledged production. So just make sure that wherever you're at in your creative process with your show that you want to submit, that you are ready to actually put it up in full. So once you're sure you're ready to submit your show for a festival production, you can get started on your application. So let's look at the script submission form. Use this form to submit your show to the New York and the LA Summer Theater Festivals. If you want to apply to Atlanta, that's going to be a separate form that's going to come out at a later date. You want to submit it by November 15th at midnight Pacific time. That means that if you're on the East Coast, you actually have until 3 a.m. to get it in. And if you have any issues with the form, email us, info@shenycarts.org. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you just pretend the deadline is November 14th at midnight so that you're actually submitting your script a full day in advance, just in case there's any issue. If the files don't upload, you're not panicking at the last moment and you have enough time to send us an email and ask for help. Two questions are pretty self-explanatory: your name, your email, your show title. Your city and state of residence can go right here. It's okay if it's not New York or Los Angeles or California. We accept script submissions from anywhere in the world. Then your show is a play, musical, solo show, or an adaptation. If you think it doesn't fit in any of those categories, that does not disqualify you. You can still apply, but just try to describe what it is here under Other. If you have any co-writers, please list them here, as well as their roles. If you're submitting a musical and one of you did the script and the lyrics and one of you did the music, please differentiate who wrote what. Name of any other current production or creative team members and any previous production history for your show. It is a-okay if the answer to both of these things is nothing. Okay, these next two questions, a one-sentence description of your show and then a brief 3 to 5 sentence summary of your show's plot. My one pro tip here is to please keep it to 1 sentence and 3 to 5 sentences. You have no idea how many people actually send us in like 3 paragraphs instead. The point of having, just a few sentences is because when you have to boil your show down to just a few sentences, it means you're telling us what is most important to you about your show, and that's useful information for us to know. And also, we don't need paragraphs long description of your show because we're going to read the script, so we're going to know what it's about. Why do you feel that your show is ready to participate in a festival at this moment in time? It goes back to what I said earlier about how this is not a staged reading, this is not a workshop, this is actually putting your show up in full with costumes, with set pieces, with props, with choreography if you need it. So why do you think that at this point in your show's development, that is the next step that you need? Okay, next, please upload a PDF of your script. PDFs only, please, no Word docs. That means that our script readers can read it at any place on any kind of computer at any time. This is super important. Please make sure your name is not anywhere on your script. Not on the title page, summary page, header, or the footer of each page. Take your name completely off the script. We have heard from some people that when they submit through this Google form, that it looks like their name gets added to the file name. That's okay, that's easy for us to just delete and take out. But we want to make sure it's not anywhere like in the PDF because then we can't really take that out. If you have a musical or even a play with music or any show where the music plays an important part in the piece, we want you to upload as many music files as you can. We have a minimum of 3, but we would love way more than 3 if you can send them to us. The quality here really does not matter. The only thing we ask is that you do not have those like really annoying MIDI beep sounds for your music, but that it's either a real instrument, whatever instrument you're most comfortable with, or even like a Logic orchestration file, something like that. It can just be you at a piano at home, even if you're a really bad singer, it doesn't matter. We pride ourselves on being really good at imagining what the music will sound like when it is done professionally on stage, rather than judging you just off of the quality of your recordings. We do need them in MP3 or M4A files. If for whatever reason you have audio files of some different file type, like an AIF or something like that, just Google AIF to MP3 converter, and there are plenty of free resources online where you should be able to convert that for free. And then we want you to name it in a very particular way. Include the track number, the name of the song, and then the title of your show all in the file name. That means that you need to change the name of the file on your own computer before you upload it to the form. So here's an example, O1, it's the first song, All That Jazz, Chicago. That's how you want to name it. Again, make sure that your name is not included anywhere in the file name. There is a file limit here, so I know I said upload as many as you can, but it is possible that you'll run into an issue where your files are too big or you have more than 10 files. That's fine. Again, we'd rather have more. So if you are having an issue, first off, just try compressing your files. Your files might just be really, really big, and if you compress them, it won't affect the audio quality all that much, at least not for our purposes, and hopefully then you'll be able to upload them. Actually, attaching the files here is the easiest thing for us, so please, please try to do that if you can. But if you end up in a situation where you can't, there are a couple things you can do. Down at the bottom here, you'll see we have this anything else we should know box. So you can include in here a link to a website where you have uploaded the files. It just has to be the type of website where we don't need an account to log in. Anyone can just click and listen to your files. So SoundCloud is really, really great for that. I would definitely recommend SoundCloud. You could do Dropbox. Just make sure all the settings are correct so that we don't have to sign in and that we're able to download without like having to ask you permission. Maybe it's on your personal website. Just make sure whatever page the files are on doesn't have your name on it at all, and link us directly to that page so that, again, we're not seeing your name anywhere during this application process, because we do really want to keep the submission process completely blind. This is a big one. I understand that if accepted to the festival, I must own all the rights to my script or any intellectual property or materials used in my show. What that means is that if you're accepted into the festival, you're not going to engage in any sort of copyright violation. The simplest way to put this is that if there's anything in your show that you did not create yourself, odds are it's a copyright violation. So, for example, if you have a show about a group of actors and they're putting on a play, so one scene in your show, they're performing a scene from The Music Man. If you've got an actual scene from The Music Man written into your script, if you haven't explicitly asked for and obtained and probably paid for the rights to perform that scene, then that's a copyright violation. Another big example that we see all the time is music. If you want transition music between your scenes, or maybe your character is a musician who performs covers at gigs, and you have that character singing an Adele song at some point. If you didn't pay for the rights to actually perform that Adele song, then you are engaging in a copyright violation. Or if your show takes place in a certain time period, so you want the character to watch a scene from a movie from that year so that it really sets the scene, that's likely a copyright violation unless you paid for the rights to use the scene from that movie. And then, of course, if your show is based on something, based on a book, based on a movie, make sure whatever it's based on is in the public domain, or again, that you've obtained the rights to it, because that could be a copyright violation as well. When you select yes or no here, if you select no, that does disqualify you from being in the festival. If you select yes, we're going to assume that either there's no copyrighted material in your show or any copyrighted material you have obtained the rights for. If we do read your script and think that there is copyrighted material in here, when we accept you, we will bring it up to you just to ensure that you understand that and that you're clear to perform whatever is written in your script. Okay, so anything else you think we should know? This is a place for you to throw in there anything about your the reason you wrote the story, why you want to be a part of the festival, again, any additional materials you might have. Another pro tip is that if you are submitting a solo show, I would highly recommend you send in a link to a video of you performing that solo show here, because it's so hard to judge solo shows just based off of reading the script, because obviously they depend so much on the actor that's actually playing the role. Let's talk about who actually reads this form. In most cases, no one reads this form until we've decided that we want to accept you into the festival. And then we will look at your form just to make sure there aren't any red flags about your show, like if you wrote that you're not sure you can finish the script in time or something like that. Prior to then, there are only a few reasons why we would look at your form during the script reading process. And it would just be one designated person on our staff is the only person who would actually go in and look at your form and then just kind of provide to the script readers whatever information they think we need to know. This is because, as I've mentioned already, we want to keep our script submission process completely blind, which means that our script readers don't know who the author is when they're reading their script, and we're judging it, therefore, just solely based on the merits of the script writing itself. But there are a few times where we might have some concerns and want to look to your form to hopefully give us the answers that we need. So, for example, if you write a show about a very particular subject matter, maybe about physics, and you have a lot of physics terminology in your show, our script readers are probably going to read that and be like, I don't know if any of this is right, but hopefully the playwright knows what they're talking about. We'd want to then look at your application and see that you've put in here, under anything else we should know, maybe that, you have a joint degree in drama and physics. And then we'll be like, okay, great, we can trust this person to have written about this subject matter. Same thing goes for anything cultural. If you're writing a story from a cultural perspective, we want to know what your connection to that culture is so that we're sure that you are the right kind of person to be telling that story. And then lastly, we do allow people to submit scripts that are only 75% completed. Again, this is an opportunity for you to produce your show in full on stage in front of a paying audience. So we do want this to be a script that you really feel is ready for that step. So if you've just started writing this show and you only got 75% of the way through the script and you just decided to submit it real quick, we wouldn't really recommend that. However, we also understand the writing process is a very fluid process. Your script will change and grow a lot as it goes through readings and workshops and revisions. So if, for example, there's a chunk in the middle of your show that you just really have to redo from scratch, and you're going to spend the next 3 months doing that, that's why we give you the option to submit a 75% completed show. So if you do feel really confident about the script, you've been working on it for a long time, you just know that there's one thing that you have to hash out, one thing that you have to rewrite, that's why we allow you that flexibility to submit a 75% completed script. If we do only get 75% of your show, first off, we're going to want to see a treatment of the scenes that are missing, so that means a summary of what happens in the scenes that are not in the script currently. And then number two, we're going to look to your application to see why you only submitted a partially completed script and what your plans are to actually finish it on time. So last topic is the application timeline. You can submit any time between now and November 15th at midnight. You do need to complete your form all in one sitting. One thing you could do is open up the Google form, copy paste all the questions into a document and draft them out so that you can take your time drafting them out, and then copy paste your answers back into our Google form. It won't let you save your form halfway through completing it, for example. So you'll submit your form by November 15th. From there, it gets distributed to all of our script readers, and 3 different script readers will read your show between November and January. Our script readers have a scoring process that we use, and we find the average score for each show that's submitted to us. And we basically rank the shows in the order of the score that they got. If you are in the top about 50% of scripts, we will notify you that you're moving on to the semi-finalist round sometime end of January or beginning of February. We say February and keep it kind of vague because there are a number of reasons why this process can get delayed. Again, if we have a concern about your show and feel like somebody else needs to look it over to get a 4th set of eyes on it, or script reader gets delayed for whatever reason and their batch of 10 scripts needs an extra week to get read, that deadline can get pushed a little bit. So sometime in February, we will let you know if you're a semifinalist. And then after that, around March, we'll let you know if you're a finalist or if we just want to offer you a slot in the festival. And then we like to solidify our lineup by around April 1st or April 15th. So we'll also give you a deadline to accept your slot in the festival. And should you not accept for whatever reason, then we will go and offer to somebody else who was, you know, maybe really, really close to our top 8 in our list. We will often send these notifications or acceptances on a rolling basis. So if you and your friend both submit a script and she hears back one day and you don't hear anything that day, that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. Again, it's just part of the logistical process on our end. We're trying to get through all of these scripts as quickly as possible, so some people might hear before others just based on where you were in your script readers list. And then lastly, we will notify you if you are not accepted into the festival as well. That will usually come a little bit later, maybe mid-April, just because we do want to hold on to a few scripts in case somebody that we offer a slot in drops out or doesn't want to accept their slot. We want to then be able to go and offer to those shows that were really, really close to making the cut. So you will know if you are not accepted. And there is no limit on how many times you can apply. So if you're not accepted, you can apply again in future years with the same script or with different scripts. We're always happy to read revised script submissions. And that's about it. So that's a quick summary on our script submission process. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you'll submit your show. We're super excited to read it.